Welcome back, everyone, to the Monmouth Moms podcast. We took a little bit of a hiatus, was busy planning our last event of the year, which was this past weekend, the Monmouth Moms second annual holiday festival at Bell Works. Thank you to everyone who came and attended, had a great time. It was a great day. Magical time seeing Santa and all the Frozen characters. We had tons of vendors and really just great community spirit. So again, thank you for attending. And now we're back in the studio today. We're in Red Bank this time with Dr. Sally from Atlantic Pediatric Dentistry in Little Silver. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining. I know it's a crazy busy time of year. I personally, what's today? So recording today, this is December 7th. I have bought maybe like 4 Christmas presents.
You're ahead of me. Okay. I'm going after this. Okay. I'm on my way.
I do this every year, and I think it's just like who I am. I don't think I'm ever going to be the person that gets their shopping done in November or even October. Some people do it in October, I think.
And I think the older your kids get, the harder it gets.
Yeah.
And the harder the creative ideas are. And so I'll be wandering aimlessly with you as well after this.
My son sent me, so he's, he's a freshman in college, and he's he's always been a gamer. He has the whole setup. And now I guess the computer that he has is very, it's crazy, but he needs a new piece to it. And so that was a ridiculous amount of money. So there's 3 things I could basically get him. Yes. But it's so boring, Yes. I mean, that's what he wants, whatever. But
no, we do a lot of clothes and makeup. I have 4 girls, so it's a lot of clothes, a lot of makeup, a lot of expensive sneakers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The sneakers is last year we got the list from both teens in our houses and we were like, so I don't think you're going to get those $400 sneakers, but try again.
I'm offended by
I don't know who you think your parents are, but we're not. I don't know if you know, but we're not Rockefellers. We're not
that. Exactly. So I think we're in the same boat. But yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for coming.
Yes.
So tell me. So where do you live?
I live in Little Silver.
Okay.
We've lived there for the past 10 years.
Okay.
And I'm originally from North Jersey, Bergen County.
What part?
Franklin Lakes.
Okay.
So right up there.
I used to sell wine for the bulk of my career, and I used to drive around all day long, and I knew each town by where the liquor store was.
There you go.
So that's why I always ask, because I know most towns, and Bergen, I love Ridgewood, and that whole Franklin Lakes is beautiful too.
It is. It's tiny.
It's
so
small,
one tiny town to another now.
Yeah, and Demorest, I believe, is it's
close
by.
Yeah,
Demorest. Yeah, that's another really cute little town. So Bergen County is great, but it's very it's very densely populated.
It's a totally different pace than here.
It is.
It was a big adjustment.
17 and 4, and just that
the
whole
malls.
The mall. Oh my gosh, the malls. But a great shopping. If I ever, actually, that's one thing I miss about selling wine, is what I do now. I would drive around and then in between, grab my Christmas shopping, So now I'm always at a desk, and I could just do it most of it online.
My mom still lives up there, so I still go shopping up there.
It's so great.
I'm a little shopping snob, I guess, because I was spoiled for so many years. So yeah, I head back up.
The one mall with all the Century 21 and
yes,
and Nordstrom Rack and everything.
Oh gosh, every outlet you could ever want.
Yes,
Bergen Mall, Bergen Town Center. Yes,
and they have a Whole Foods there and stuff. Yeah, it's very good. And then the other one too. I could go on and on about shopping.
We can talk about Bergen County today.
So you grew up in Franklin Lakes, and where'd you go to school?
I went to Columbia for undergrad.
Okay.
And then I went to UMD&J, which is now Rutgers Dental School.
Okay.
And then to do my pediatric training, I actually stayed there for 2 additional years. So
nice.
Yeah, a Jersey area kind of bound. So.
And you you graduated from school, and did you join a practice or?
So I actually got approached before I was finished with school and to come see the practice I own now.
Okay.
And I was a little hesitant because it was so far away from where I was living in Bergen County.
Right.
But I decided, hey, let's give it a go. And the place was awesome and the staff was awesome. So I ended up saying, okay, I'll work there a couple days a week. Then a few years later, I was offered to buy, and I'm like, well, maybe we could move. And then I bought, and now that's the end of the story. We moved down here and I own half of it. So, yep.
So when you were in med school, were you having your children then? Or
I had my older one while I was in my last year of residency.
Okay.
And then I didn't, there's 5 years difference between my children. And then I had just bought the practice when I had my second one.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So you have how many kids?
So we're a blended family. My husband has 2 daughters from his previous marriage. I have 1 daughter from my previous marriage, and then we have a 9-year-old together.
That's great. Yep. I think we were just talking about this. I have the same thing. So 1 and 1 and 1, basically.
There you go.
But it keeps life interesting, right?
Yes, and very busy. So
Yeah, very
a lot
busy.
of different schedules, a lot of different things going on, but I love it.
Aw.
It's good. Yeah.
So they grew up in Little Silver.
So my 2 grew up in Little Silver. My husband's children live in Homedale, so right around the corner.
Oh, that's
so
perfect.
We're all, yeah,
That's
we're all
easy.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so nice. So you bought the practice. So tell me what that was like, because my aunt is an OBGYN. Her kids, 2 of them are doctors now. And I just, my one cousin who has 3 kids, and he's a pediatric cardiologist. And I always found, it to be so fascinating how, you're on call, you're spending the hours, running a practice, you're super busy, and you also, are raising a family. And it's a big job. So what was that like, growing the practice, buying a practice, right?
Yeah,
and then having little ones. Were they in the office all the time?
So it's baptism by fire.
Okay.
In dental school, they teach you to be a dentist, and that's it. They don't teach you to own a business. They don't teach you to
market yourself.
They don't teach you to deal with your staff. Like you know how to do what you know how to do and go do it.
Do they now? Are there programs now where they have one class?
They're starting. I think they're waking up, because it's very dissatisfying to have spent all those years and all that money and then be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And you make these big mistakes and you're like, well, I wasn't prepared for this job.
Sure.
So it's, I was very blessed. My husband, who's my partner, was an excellent mentor to me and taught me how to do the things I needed to do once I bought into the practice. We had my youngest daughter right when I was just coming in. She was the office baby. We called her the office baby. I only took 2 weeks off for maternity leave because, patients, and I love my patients, but they don't care if your baby's 2 weeks late.
Right.
They're like, well, you said you were coming back on this day.
Right.
So she came in a little bassinet and she lived in the office for a while until we got a nanny. But I mean, it's a lot to buy a practice, but it's much more rewarding than I thought it would be.
Okay.
Yeah. I have much more pride in what I do, because I actually own the space. I own the culture. I own the experience, rather than just be a person who works there.
Yeah.
So I am glad with the decision I made. Yeah.
Right. Because you've rooted your not, I don't want to say your brand, right? But it's almost like your own little community of people who, are loyal to you and and refer you, right, to the community.
I have such wonderful patients. I mean, people on the moms' websites, they're always giving such glowing reviews about us. They send gifts and treats throughout the year. I mean, I couldn't be more blessed.
Wow.
They're great. My patients are great.
That's great. So do your kids come visit into the office now, or
yes,
do they help out at all?
The older ones work
in
the office. They will do insurance. They'll pick up the phone. They'll do stuff like that. They're always there in some capacity. All of my staff really know my kids pretty well, because we are, we're a smaller office, and we really know each other quite well, and they've seen my kids grow up. Right. I mean, from literally my youngest from birth to 9 years old. Right. It's kind of crazy. Wow. Yeah.
So outside of work, what did you like to do with them when they were growing up in Monmouth County?
So I was never a beach person, because we never went over the Driscoll's Bridge when I was living in North Jersey. So that was one of the things we had to get used to. I didn't know there were beach clubs. I didn't know anything about this. But the kids love the beach. And so we do a lot of beach. We do a lot of hiking in parks, Homedale parks, and great. Stuff like that.
I love going hiking.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I consider it hiking. My aunt lives in Albany, and she took me on one hike with my son. He was 9. This was obviously a long time ago. And it was like a 6-hour hike. I was not even remotely prepared for it.
That's a hike. Yeah,
and we were up steep, and my son's looking at me like, what are we doing? And he goes, do you think we're going to survive this? I'm like, I don't know. but we did. And you got to the top and it's breathtaking,
Yes.
Unbelievable and quite an experience. But we're like very low key hikers.
I'm with you. I'm in that group. Yes.
Yeah. I don't think there's any snakes coming out to bite me anywhere.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah. So would they like that?
Yeah.
They made a lot of friends here, and we do a lot of sports teams and things like that, dance when they were little, stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's been good.
It's a great community, and I think it's just only getting better.
I think
we have the best of everything.
Yeah. Tons of people have moved into this area recently, and it's brought a lot of, I would say, diversity into the mix. People from New York City, people from out of state, far out of state. It's been really interesting.
No, the culture is great. And the park system, I say this all the time, it's just top notch. I have family members who live in other counties in New Jersey, and they don't have the park system is far and away. Oh, it's
absolutely.
Just unbelievable. The golf, portion that they have.
And my husband golfs and the camps and
the classes, the activities, just the free activities. They keep my calendar full every week.
It is the truth. It is the truth. You can't say there's nothing to do around here.
No, you can't. No. You can't. I'm guilty that I definitely don't partake in as much as I should. People always think that I'm always going to all these events on my roundup. But no, someone has to put this stuff on there.
That's right. We got to let you know about it. So,
but let me know how it is.
That's right.
So tell me what it's like running the practice now. What's your day like? I always love to know that about moms.
Right now, I have one at home in high school, a freshman, and I have a third grader. So and don't follow along with me, whoever's listening and watching. I wake up at 4:30.
Oh, wow.
I go to the gym.
Okay.
I get home at 6. I get the first one off to high school. Then I get the second one ready to go to grade school. Mm-hmm. I am blessed to have help at home. And when she arrives, Rhonda, God bless you.
Shout out to Rhonda.
Yeah, shout out to Rhonda. When she arrives, I go to work. I start my day at 8. I see patients every half hour until 5.
Okay.
I take a lunch like everybody else, and I do errands at that time. I do shopping. I do phone calls, whatever. I try to leave the office around 5:30, just for sanity's sake. Mm-hmm. I try to keep my work at work. I think it's better for my kids. Mm. I try to do as much as I can in the office. And then when I'm home, I'm not working. Mm-hmm. My husband brings the paperwork home, but the kids tend to need mom at night a lot. Yeah. So I don't. And then I cook dinner, shockingly enough. People are I'm not very domestic, but I do cook dinner. And then we just have a regular nighttime routine. So it's kind of this rotating circle.
Do you need a lot of sleep, or are you a person who doesn't require a lot of sleep?
I don't require a lot of sleep. You learn that in your training.
Yeah.
I used to be on call every 4th night. Okay. And so I would sleep at the hospital. Sleep at the hospital all night long. Right. And so you learn to sleep when you can. As I'm getting older, I need more, but I can do with very little sleep if I have to. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm a person who I need 7 hours and I'm okay. But I really I'm good with 8. And if I get less than 7, I'm not the same person. Yeah. And it's annoying. I wish I had more energy or whatever it is. Yes. Recently I'm trying to wake up an hour earlier. I'm a runner.
Oh, okay.
And I need to run every day in order to feel
that's your grounding.
That's my grounding.
Yes.
It's mostly a mental thing. Obviously there's a lot of, physical and fitness benefits to it.
Yeah.
But it's mostly that's where I get all my ideas from. That's how I think through things. That's how, it's just they call it moving meditation.
Yes. Yes.
And, but I've noticed that if I don't run by a certain time, then I'm kind of and then it's an extra hour, and then it feeds into the whole cycle of the day, right?
Yes.
And I've been really trying to to do it, but some mornings it's just I'm my body's no.
So 4:30, my body is screaming at me no.
Really?
But if I just like you, I feel better when I work out. It helps calm me for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I totally agree with you. I need at least 6 hours. Less than that, then I'm living solely on caffeine and adrenaline.
Okay.
And pediatric dentists, our job, we have to always be on.
Right.
It's kind of like a show.
Can't miss anything.
A show every half hour. I put on a show every half hour because that child's the most important person in the chair, and they need to feel that way, even if I didn't sleep, even if my kid screamed at me before we got to work. So 6 hours is kind of the minimum, or I'm living on fumes. Yeah, yeah.
And are you open on the weekends?
We're open one Saturday a month. Parents say they want Saturdays, but there's so many fun things around here that it ends up like Saturdays sound great on paper, but it's not always conducive when you have a lot of little kids and activities to do. So we only do one a month.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your patients. You see your patients every 6 months.
Yes.
Or ideally, right?
Ideally. Here, fingers crossed, everybody, every 6 months. Sometimes we need to see you more. We see kids from birth to age 21.
Okay.
22 sometimes if you push it with us. We'll keep you. We did have someone come in married once, and I had to say, you can't come in anymore. If you're married, you're kind of done.
That's so funny.
Every 6 months.
Was it a guy?
No, it was a girl.
Oh, really?
And
I could just so see a guy doing
that. No, she loves us so much, and it was such a compliment. But I'm like, you aged out.
That's funny.
But we see the little ones for lip ties and tongue ties for breastfeeding purposes and things like that, the itty bitty ones. And then just for regular dental care through. Yep.
Gotcha. And what, I know you referenced the parent groups earlier. Lots of moms refer you. I see it all the time. We really have some serious fans in our area. So there's a lot of little kids out there who have huge fear of the dentist. A lot of people, right, in general have a fear of the dentist. Yes. What are, some things that you see, that kind of help kids not be so fearful of coming to the dentist?
So I feel there's two things. And this is just in my office. There's no wrong way to do things. It's just what I think is best. We go very slow. So a child will come in around 2 and 3, and they know what the doctor is. And they've got a sense that I'm some kind of something, and I may give them a shot. Right. And so they come in very hesitant. I only go for the first visit to the level that the child can handle.
Okay.
You don't ever want to push someone over the edge, because then it's very hard to bring them back. So if all I do is get to count your teeth and make you a balloon and give you a goodie bag, that's fine. As long as I've then conveyed all the information to the parent and given the child a positive experience, it does wonders for the next visit.
Right.
Because they remember nothing happened here. Everything was fine. And then you can go a step further. Sometimes it takes a few visits to just go one extra step, but then you really build a solid ground where they trust you.
Right.
It's just building trust. The second thing is we have an open door policy. Parents are always allowed in the room.
Okay.
There are only very few circumstances where I won't allow a parent in the room. And it's really to protect the parent, not the child.
Okay.
Because some things can be extremely upsetting to a parent. And I always put that out there before I do anything. But we have a total open door policy. Parents watch fillings. They watch extractions. They help. They're part of my team once we all get in the room. Because the child already trusts the parent. That bridge is not breakable. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so if they see the parent trusting me, it adds to the whole level of security of what's going on. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you've been practicing for how long?
Oh, I hate to say 14 years. I can't believe it's been that long. It seems like a minute ago.
It flew, right?
Yeah.
No, I get it. So what have you seen dentistry or pediatric dentistry progress at all? What has changed since you started in terms of, just like really anything, guidelines?
The guidelines have changed somewhat, but more so the materials that we use now have changed. Like there's a lot more available to us in terms of what we can do to fix teeth and help kids along, especially those kids that have a lot of cavities.
Okay.
The other big thing that we utilize in our office is now laser dentistry.
Okay.
We use a laser. It's called the Solea. It cuts teeth, so no more drill. And it also does soft tissue surgery, like for those babies with tongue ties and lip ties.
Oh.
So with no drill means no shots. And no noise of the drill. So it revolutionized our practice.
Wow.
We jumped into it 5 years ago. We weren't really even sure. We were really scared. It was a huge investment financially, but also we had to learn how to use it. I was always trained with a handpiece, like an actual drill, so I could feel what I was working on. A laser is just a beam of light. You're not actually touching anything. And there's a whole new way of drilling, doing the work, everything. And so the learning curve was steep. And after you've been out of school for a few years, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing again.
Right.
But it ended up being amazing for the practice. The kids don't have to be numb. We can do a ton more work per visit, so parents don't have to come back as many times.
Okay.
It's really been a game changer. My husband has one of the highest clock number of hours on the laser in the East Coast.
Wow.
He lives for that laser. So yeah, he loves it. I do the babies. I do the frenectomies and the tongue tie, things like that.
Okay.
And I use it for teeth as well, but he loves it. I mean, men and their technology.
Tools,
this was like,
that's hysterical.
He was all in. He bought the accessory lasers to go with it. So.
And by the way, and he's such a nice man. I met him for the first time in person at our event the other day. And he's really gracious and very kind.
He's not only is he a great dentist, nice man, but he's an excellent mentor. He teaches at Monmouth Medical for the residents there.
Oh, wow.
And he mentored me, and he was very patient. When you get out of dental school and you're like a new mom and you don't know what's going on, you're a hot mess when you start working.
Right.
And he was more than patient, and he's an asset. I don't want to make your head too big if you're listening. Yes. He's an asset to the practice and to everybody who gets to work with him, really. Yeah.
And I'm sure too, like coming out of school like that, it's almost more stressful than it was during school, right? You think, and you probably think, what, like I got through school, what could be, harder than what I just did? And you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many different elements that you wouldn't even have dreamt of, right?
It's the truth. You graduate and you think you know how to do everything.
Right.
You're like, okay, I got a piece of paper. They told me
the worst is over.
The Northeast Regional Board says I can do this.
Yep.
You go in. You start treating people. And you're like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. How do I handle this? This mom says this. This kid does this. Who's helping me? Where's the teacher? I need help.
I know.
And they say, and it is really true, it takes 5 years to settle in pediatric dentistry.
Oh, okay.
It takes 5 years because you need that amount of time to see all the things you're going to see.
Sure.
Before you are like really confident in what you're saying all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's so true in, so many different elements in life, though. I remember being in my very young 20s and thinking I was so confident. And why do people get so stressed out? You just go to work and come home and it's go to dinner and like, oh God, what is everyone's problem?
It's the truth. And then you're in it and you're like, oh my gosh.
I feel like I know less now than I did.
Amen. And you know what? That's one really good thing about my job. I'm never bored.
Right.
Because some things are different every day.
Right.
And each kid is different and every family brings something unique to the table. And, I get to be all kinds of things to all kinds of people. Like I'm fixing your teeth, but I also get to help you get over this fear. I also get to teach you. I get to do a variety of things. And I think if you become a pediatric dentist, you don't like to just do the same thing over and over again. You like the drama of this is happening and that's going on over here and Timmy's biting Susie and this and this kind of thing.
Do you see like a new wave of any specific diagnosis that's more common now than it has been in the past?
So there's two things. Cavities have gotten out of control.
Really?
Out of control. I mean, and I think all my colleagues would agree with that. And we think it's due to COVID. But we're not really sure. The amount of decay I saw once we came back from that hiatus of not working for a couple months, it was shocking. And I think a lot of habits, like their routine of life changed. Uh-huh. And I think people's eating frequency changed and people's routine of brushing and everything just fell off the wagon. Even in my own house, things fell off the wagon. So that's one big thing that has changed, not for the good, but, we'll handle it. We'll tackle it. But the other thing is a lot of moms are much more well educated on lip ties, tongue ties, speech patterns. They're looking at their younger children a lot more closely than I guess my mom's generation. You know what I mean? Even my generation, if I wasn't a dentist, I wouldn't have looked at these things. Moms will look and they will bring it up to their pediatrician and then I'll see them because they've identified
so it's something. Not more common, it's that they're more aware. So the diagnosis is more frequent, I guess, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Huh.
Yeah. So, I mean, good for you moms. I mean, they're taking charge of things going on.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
So what are some of the top things that you like to tell parents to be mindful of raising the kids to, for health?
So what I would say,
health.
Mouth health. What I would say most important is everybody thinks that, kids want to brush. They want to do what their parents do. They see their parents brushing. They're interested and everything like that. Kids can't brush their teeth on their own until they can tie their shoelaces.
Okay.
And a lot of parents think they see them doing something, but it's really not happening. Unfortunately, it's just another thing that gets added to our proverbial plate of things to do. But the best thing that you can do for your child is to brush their teeth, like get in there. Even if they resist, get in there. And I can't tell you, flossing is almost more important than
That was
brushing.
my next question.
I hate to say it, I'm sorry. Everyone's going to be like, boo, but it's the truth.
Right.
You need to floss, not only for your tooth health, now they're finding for your body health, all kinds
I've heard
of
that.
things.
Yeah. Like it's heart health,
Cardiovascular
right? Yeah.
disease,
Yeah.
maybe cognitive function as you age. Like things really can, the mouth is the gateway to the body, they say.
Right.
Like, that's what we're taught in dental school. So if you can start your kid with those habits in the beginning, you're going to save yourself a lot of time, angst, money, all that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Interesting.
it's not the popular answer, but it's the honest one.
Yeah.
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 And yeah, those are the big things. Yeah.
And candy. So what's your?
So it's not candy. Like this is a myth. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Candy is not good. I'm not advocating candy at all, but
there's so many foods with sugar in them. Like
this
most
is
foods.
Yes. It's carbohydrate.
Well, most processed foods.
Yes. It's
right.
carbohydrates.
Right.
Just like you said, processed foods with added sugar.
Yeah.
Or like a preservative that's a sugar base. Goldfish, pretzels, anything that you would give
Even
your,
like tomato sauce,
yes,
right?
It
It's
has
acidic
a ton
and it
of
has sugar. Yeah.
And if you ate a handful of goldfish and you chewed it without any water, you would feel it sticking in your teeth.
Right.
So kids are doing this all day long.
Yeah.
So it's not the candy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really the heavy carb diet, which kids need,
right.
but it's not getting cleared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of sitting there. And juice. Juice is the devil's work, I say.
Right.
Juice
like Gatorade and all that.
All
right?
this.
Yeah.
You can have it with your meals because your body's making a lot of saliva when you're eating.
Okay.
And it helps clear whatever you've put in there.
Uh-huh.
But if you're just one of those people who sip and walk around and have another sip and walk around, it can really do a big number on your teeth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Real bad.
Noted.
Yeah.
We're big water people in our house.
There you go.
But we have all the stuff that
my kids love Starbucks and the pink drinks and things and that. And it's just, you got to temper it.
Yes.
That's about it. Yeah.
For sure. So you said you're off most weekends, which is nice.
Yes.
I always love to ask where you like to dine, if there's any specific restaurants that you and
so we like
Dr. Safari like to attend.
We like to go to Barrel and Roost.
That's one of my favorites.
Food.
It's so good.
Yes.
I've never had a bad meal there.
No, we haven't either. We're having a staff member retire soon, and we're going there for her retirement dinner.
Did you used to go when it was Nicholas?
Yes,
too?
we did.
Uh-huh.
We like this better, though. I like this atmosphere. I think it's great.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's delicious. And everything is top notch.
Yeah.
So.
We go, in Pure Village. We like the restaurants there because we like to sit by the water. Why not
Serena?
Serena.
Avenue.
Yeah. Avenue.
Beautiful.
Yeah. My husband proposed to me at Avenue. So we always go to Avenue. And those are the big ones that we go to. We take in a lot because we value our time at home and stuff like that. But you can't find bad meals. You can always find something good around here.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Especially, where you are in the Red Bank area too.
Yeah.
I've been going to Sweet Green a lot over by the Grove,
Yes.
right? Like around the corner
Do you
from your
like
office.
it? Every time I go, it's so packed I can't get in.
Just try, or you can order ahead. It's delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
It's unbelievable. Like the salads, they've found a way to really make salad just taste like a delicious meal.
Okay.
And not to talk them up so bigly, but they just like really quality produce and ingredients.
Because it's right around the corner from my office.
Yeah.
I would love to
and just so good for you, but you don't even feel like you're eating something super healthy, and that you kind of feel like you're eating more of a meal rather than sometimes I feel like when you're eating salad it's like such a pain because it's like just a lot of bites and it's like big
chewing
and
and things.
it's like takes forever.
I'm gonna try it.
But highly recommend Sweet Green. We've been spending way too much money at Sweet Green.
Okay. Well, it's convenient because it's in the Grove and you can shop at the same time.
Yeah, and it's good, and you just feel good when you eat it because it's a lot of good quality.
I will check it out. I've tried twice, so I'll give it a go another time. Yes, I'll try.
So, what would you say to moms or to women right now who are thinking about going to med school, but want to have a family? Maybe they have a family now and they're in med school and thinking about opening their practice, or just like anyone in general that is, maybe thinking about opening a business.
I think that opening a practice it will be as successful as you want to make it. It really is about your level of commitment.
Right.
I was very committed, and when you are committed to something, you find a way to do everything. Yeah.
Do you feel like work is work though?
No.
Or do you feel like
some days work is work?
It's like
and
very
it
work,
is like heavy.
Yes.
And it doesn't, I don't want to give the impression that it's always wine and roses at my office.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
And I'm a realist, and some days are not going to be great, but the majority of days are fun.
But you don't hate Mondays.
No, I don't hate Mondays. And I love seeing the kids, and the day goes by fast.
Right.
So you kind of know you're in the right zone if your day is not watching the clock.
You're just kind of going from one element of your life to another.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're flowing. And I think when you're in that state of flowing, you know that you've hit the sweet spot. And I mean, I think it's wonderful. Dentistry is wonderful for women because you can create the number of days you want to work. You can create the hours you want to work. You can create a nursery in your office if you don't want your kids to not be away from you when you're little. Right. I have friends who did that.
Oh, wow.
It is a very flexible kind of situation. And I think it's great for moms, even if you already are pregnant and think you want to go to school. If there's a will, there's a way. There were a lot of my classmates who were pregnant. The last year of my residency, 3 of us were pregnant at the same time.
Okay.
So it wasn't just me who had that crazy idea. We all did. So you can do it. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way.
I love that. I didn't know that about dentistry in general, but I guess that makes sense, rather than having to, pull those crazy hours and be on call in the middle of the night. And,
you can do, I have people who I have friends who work from 2 to 7.
Wow.
Every day. And if it depends on what you want out of life. Like if that's enough for you, that's enough. So they get their kids to school in the morning, they do their gym, they do all their stuff, then they go to work.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool that way.
Super flexible. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I'd love
this
to
is
learn.
fun.
Yeah, it was. Learning more about your practice. Like I said, Atlantic Pediatric Dentistry in Little Silver. Incredible reputation. Lots of moms recommend you. I think, you and I have been working together for several years now. And anytime we, put anything out about the practice, it's always well received. So it's nice because, we like to obviously provide the community with, resources that are genuine. And
you are doing a wonderful job because everybody knows about you and you are getting the information out faster than they can read it. It's great.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
It's important to me. I hope that everyone finds it to be valuable for them, right? That's what we're doing. So.
I can guarantee it. Thank you again.
Thank you. So this week, make sure that you are going on monmouthmoms.com to check out our local guides. There is our holiday fun guide. You can check out what's happening in the area, local activities, local events that are happening, places to go, places to dine. I also just put together a local holiday restaurant guide. So some, beautiful spaces to go and dine with your family, with or without the kids. There's a lot of great places on there. And I think everyone knows by now I love food. And then also our holiday gift guide, which was sponsored by the Freehold Raceway Mall. There's some really great local gift ideas in there, especially now if you're like me and doing everything last minute. I love to support and shop local. So there's some great ideas for everyone in the family. Pretty heavy this year on the experience type gifts because I think, there's so many of us that are really gravitating towards, just the, not buying another thing that we don't need.
I agree. All for the experiences.
Yeah.
I love it.
And let's go to places. So a lot of good stuff in there. As always, make sure to visit our calendar for local events and activities happening throughout the weekend. And we have plenty in store for 2023. You just got to get started. So have a good day, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.